Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Friday, April 6th. Got 7 games today on the main slate for this Friday night slate. Before we do get started looking at pitchers and talking about some stacks, here's what we want to target. If you guys could drop a like on the video, would definitely appreciate it. Definitely means a lot. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new uploads. But yeah, guys, looking at pitcher for today. On this 7-game slate, the pitchers we want to target, we've got 2 studs over 10K, Lance McCullers and Kenta Maeda. Lance McCullers gets a great matchup with the Padres. Kenta Maeda also in a decent spot as well, going up against the Giants. I do really like Lance McCullers here. He's expensive at $12,300, but there is a really cheap SP2 that I like that you can pair with Lance McCullers that still allows you to fit in some decent bats. McCullers is expensive, like I said, but this matchup against the Padres, matchup you really can't pass up on. The Padres, they're just so bad. Their team is not good. Their lineup's not good. They strike out a lot. They have the lowest implied run total on this slate at 3.3 runs. And McCullers and the Astros are heavy favorites here. Minus 248 favorite. Very likely that McCullers is able to get a win in this game. He should be able to rack up plenty of strikeouts. There are strikeouts up and down this Padres lineup. So I just think McCullers is the top stud on this slate in my opinion. Kenta Maeda against the Giants you could go to, but I feel like McCullers might have more upside. The Padres do strike out a lot more versus righties than the Giants do versus righties. So for that reason, I'm going to be looking to pay up for McCullers. I don't have a problem with Maeda, especially like if you want to get different in tournaments. You're getting some savings if you go down to him, and I have a good feeling that McCullers is going to be a lot higher owned than Maeda is. And Maeda did have a very good outing in his season opener against the Giants. Actually, the same matchup. He pitched 5 innings, got the win, only allowed 5 hits, 1 walk, got 10 strikeouts. Got a ton of strikeouts earlier this year against the Giants. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he put up another big game. But since we've got McCullers against the Padres, I just can't pass up on that matchup, like I said. So rolling with McCullers in my SP1. And then looking for SP2, there's a really cheap option I like. Dirt cheap, $5,800. Parker Bridwell here against Oakland I like as a cheap option that you can pair with McCullers or Maeda, whichever SP1 you choose to pay up for. But I do like Bridwell. I like this matchup with Oakland. The Athletics we know are a team that will strike out a lot versus righties. Their run total for today is pretty low at 4.2 runs. And the Angels are minus 140 favorites. They are favored in this game. I like the ballpark being played in Angel Stadium. That is a ballpark that favors pitchers. I think this is a good spot for Parker Bridwell. He's really cheap. He's got strikeout upside, especially in this matchup. Oakland team that we know strikes out a lot. There are strikeouts up and down this lineup. So I think he's a good guy that you can pair with your expensive SP1. He might be a little risky, so maybe in cash games we might want to look to get up to some other pitchers we'll talk about in a second. But maybe for tournaments, Parker Bridwell, pairing him with your SP1 still leaves you 4K remaining if you pair him with Lance McCullers. 4K remaining definitely gets you some bats in that you want. But then if we look for other pitchers to target, if you don't want to play Parker Bridwell and look for other pitchers, there isn't a lot I love like in this cheap range. Daniel Gossett, no thanks. Perdomo against Houston, no thanks. Kevin Gausman, I think, is a good pitcher, but against the Yankees, I'll shy away there. Derek Holland, not very interested in. Matt Moore, not very interested in. Woodruff, no thanks. Trevor Williams, not really interested there, but he'd probably be my second favorite cheap SP2. He's only $7,100. This game's going to be played in Pittsburgh, in PNC. Very pitcher-friendly park. It is a solid matchup with the Reds. There are definitely strikeouts in this Reds lineup. So you could go to Trevor Williams here if you don't want to go down to Parker Bridwell. Williams is definitely an option. I feel like he's not very safe either. But maybe if you don't trust Bridwell, then you could use Trevor Williams. And then guys like Estrada, CC Sabathia, Luis Castillo. I definitely like Luis Castillo here, and I like his matchup. But at $8,700, it's going to be really hard to pair him with a guy like McCullers or a guy like Maeda, just because $8,700 plus that 11K, 12K price doesn't leave you a ton for batters. Kyle Hendricks, really not interested in against the Brewers. Really the pitchers I'm looking at today are obviously McCullers and Maeda, and then my SP2s that I can pair with my studs. Definitely Parker Bridwell, Trevor Williams. Those are kind of the pitchers I like for today. But then if we look for my 3 bats, and then look for teams to target and teams to stack and talk about some BVP. Starting off at third base, there's a guy that I really like here. I do like the Blue Jays today as a stack. So Josh Donaldson in a matchup with Matt Moore, I like here. Game being played in Texas, a good hitter's park. Obviously, it's not going to be the greatest hitter's park since it's being played in the spring. When we get Texas in the summertime, when it's like 100 degrees, it's one of the best hitters parks in the game. Even though it's only going to be 56 degrees here in Texas, the Blue Jays are still in a good spot. They have a high run total, implied run total at 5.2 runs. Matt Moore is not a good pitcher. I like a lot of these righties against him, mainly Donaldson, Travis. I really like Steve Pearce. If you're looking for a value play at 2.8K, projected about 5th, I like for value. Randall Grichuk, I think, has a lot of upside, a guy that definitely has power. 3.7K, you could play him. But Josh Donaldson, mainly the guy I want here. Gotten off to a really good start this year. Been hitting the ball well, already has 2 home runs. And if we look in the DraftKings game log, 11, 14, 25, and 7 DraftKings points last 4 games. Been very consistent for you. I like this matchup with Matt Moore. Matt Moore definitely gets crushed by righties. Donaldson, over his career, has always been a guy that's hit lefties well. So he's kind of a guy I'm looking to pair for third base. And then if we go to the outfield, there are 2 value plays I like here. One's going to be 4K, really cheap, and the other is going to be sub 4K, another really cheap option. But the guy that I like at 4K is Josh Reddick. Been on him a ton just because I feel like he's too cheap. He always gets these good matchups with righties that struggle with lefties. Reddick's always a guy that's hit righties well, gets the platoon split going up against the righties, so that favors him. We obviously know the Astros are going to have a high implied run total pretty much every slate. They're implied to score 5.3 runs today versus Luis Perdomo. And obviously the Astros are a great stack if you compare it for these guys. Reddick's cheap at 4K. Bregman's only 4.4K. Definitely like him here. Marlon Gonzalez is sub 4K, just 3.9. Another guy that you could use for cheap. So obviously love the Astros. Love a lot of the lefties. Reddick, Marlon Gonzalez, kind of the guys I'm looking at from the Astros today. Obviously Altuve, Springer, Correa. Those dudes are good plays every day if you can fit them in. But since we did pair from colors, we're going to have to find value bats on Reddick from the Astros at 4K, a guy that I like for value. And then my final play, another value play that I like, dirt cheap as well, 3,500 in the outfield. Kike Hernandez against Derek Holland. I like here. I expect Kike Hernandez to be in this Dodgers lineup, projected back cleanup, and it is a great matchup with Derek Holland. You obviously don't love the ballpark being played in San Francisco in AT&T Park. That park, very pitcher friendly, but still this matchup with Derek Holland, one you can't pass up. Holland's always been getting crushed by righties, gave up a ton of hard contact to righties last year, a ton of home runs to righties. We obviously know Kike Hernandez is pretty much his specialty is hitting lefties. So you're getting a lefty masher versus a lefty that's always struggled with righties. So things kind of add up here for Kike Hernandez to have a solid game. Wish the game was being played in a better park, but 3,500, just really think that price tag kind of too cheap for the upside that Kike Hernandez has. So these are my 5 plays for today, guys. Lance McCullers, Parker Bridwell, Josh Donaldson, Josh Reddick, and Kike Hernandez. Now if we want to look at some of the high implied run totals for today and talk about some stacks, the Astros and Blue Jays are two teams that have an implied run total over 5 runs. The Yankees also have an implied run total as well over 5 runs at 5.4. They actually lead the slate in implied run total at 5.4. So the Yankees are probably going to be a stack that a lot of people go to against Kevin Gausman. But you're definitely going to have to pay it for these guys. They're not cheap. We look up and down their lineup, a lot of expensive bats. Gregorius, Giancarlo, Judge, Gary Sanchez. These dudes are definitely going to cost you salary. Maybe if you pay down at your pitcher spot, you don't play McCullers, don't play Maeda, then maybe you can afford these guys. But since I like McCullers and Maeda so much today, it's going to be hard to play the Yankees. So that's why I'm kind of looking to a team like the Blue Jays, who do have a high run total and they have a lot cheaper bats than, say, the Yankees do. You got guys up and down this lineup that are cheap. Devon Travis, 3.1K. Steve Pearce, obviously 2.8K. I love for value today if he's in the lineup. Even Solarte, projected back cleanups, only 3.4K. And they are in a great matchup with Matt Moore. So the Blue Jays are kind of my number one team for today. Obviously, the Astros are going to be a great stack every day if you can fit them in, but they're going to cost you salary. So mainly the Blue Jays, and I think some of these Dodgers righties as well. Even though the games are being played in AT&T, righties have crushed Derek Holland just all throughout his career. Holland's gotten crushed by righties. So guys like Chris Taylor, Puig, Kike Hernandez, even Matt Kemp, maybe Forsythe. If you want to play these guys, I think they're definitely good options. I think they do make a lot of sense, especially with how cheap they are. But that's really it for stacks for today. Now if we look at some of the BVP plays, top BVP plays on the slate, definitely have a couple here with a big sample size. Guys against CC Sabathia, some guys from the Orioles have hit CC Sabathia really well. Adam Jones has gone 24 for 79, So big sample size there. 5 of those 24 hits have been home runs. He's batting a .304 average in 79 plate appearances against CC Sabathia. Manny Machado also done well against CC Sabathia, 18 for 51 with 3 home runs, a .353 average. Joey Votto, 5 for 11 off of Trevor Williams. Aaron Judge is 6 for 12 off of Kevin Gausman with 3 home runs, so Judge has seen Gausman really well. Same with Gary Sanchez, 4 for 13 with a home run, .308 average. A couple of these Rangers have hit Marco Estrada well. Sin-Soo Choo's gone 4 for 11 with a home run, .364 average. Nomar Mazara, 3 for 10 with a home run, a .300 average. Travis Shaw has hit Kyle Hendricks well, going 4 for 12 with 2 home runs, a .333 average. Andrew McCutchen, 2 for 10 off of Maeda, but both of those 2 hits were home runs. And then Joe Panic also kind of hit Maeda well, 5 for 12 with a home run, .417 average. Now if we look at pitchers that have done well in the matchups they're facing, only pitcher on the main slate that's done well in the matchup that they got is Kyle Hendricks. He's done really well against the Brewers just throughout his career, but I don't think I'm going to be on Kyle Hendricks, even with him having success against the Brewers in the past. They're just other pitchers I like on this slate. And then pitchers that have done bad in the matchups they're facing, Trevor Williams has really struggled with the Reds, but I don't think that's going to keep me off of Williams today. I still like him as a SP2 option if you don't want to play Parker Bridwell. And then the Yankees against Gausman. The Yankees have really crushed Gausman, and obviously like the Yankees here if you can afford them. But that's really it for BVP and PVB on this main slate, guys. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Hopefully it helped you. If you did enjoy, just make sure you click that like button down below. Definitely lets me know that you're enjoying the vids. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe as well. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or just feel free to leave a comment down below. And I'm always looking at comments. We'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it, guys. We'll see you back tomorrow. Peace.